we're going to give it some style that you can't buy out of a catalog. That's the Karate Kid. Yeah. Karate Kid bumper. I love the Ranger. We're going to do some stuff to this that nobody's ever even seen. Build a custom camper for the back of this.
Okay.
You got to make something for all sizes and shapes, but when it comes to building something that's custom, you make it fit to you. Perfect.
Oh my God. Badass. Oh my God.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Oh man, you taking this thing out for the weekend?
It's time to go have some fun.
Oh yeah.
I bought a Polaris Ranger not too long ago, and the idea is for everybody to be able to use it, have fun with it, but riding around stock just isn't cutting it. Going out to the off-road park and just seeing all the crazy side-by-sides out there, it's just like custom cars around here. It's a whole nother world. Man, you take this out there, I mean, you have fun, but you're like, damn, look at that cool, look at that cool, and you feel so insignificant. We can't have that, man.
Yeah.
It's going to represent extensive out somewhere. We can't have it stock.
I knew this was coming.
There's a lot of stuff I want to do to this. Course lifted, course big wheels and tires, control arms, bumpers, front and back. The aftermarket accessories for this is pretty much unlimited. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't have to make.
Not going to be hard to find the parts for this.
No, but we're going to do some stuff to this that nobody has, nobody sells, and nobody's ever even seen. If we're going to do something to it, we're going to come with it. I love the Ranger, but it just looks too squished and tall. So one of the first things we're going to do is chop the top. Give it the roof line that smooth, cleaner look. Lay the windshield back a little bit and drop it down. But I want that roof line to continue, so I'm thinking build a custom camper for the...
Okay.
And I want to fill it full of subs.
That'll get the attention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a UTV with a camper on it. So I'm thinking back to my old days when I used to have a little S10 with the snug top on it. Thinking that was pretty cool. So I'm going to build one. Not only that, something I've never ever even seen or heard on a side-by-side. I want to dance in bed. Like old school mini truck dance in bed on a side-by-side.
See, now we're going back to my California roots right here.
You know, way back in history, back in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, the rave was in the mini truck scene was having a dance in bed. And if you don't know what that is, it is the bed of a truck that's been cut out and modified where actually hydraulics actuate the bed back and forth. And it looks like the bed is actually dancing on the back of the truck. This is going to be crazy. Crazy. If we're going to do it, let's do it.
You know, there was a bet to see how long it was going to take before this thing got taken to the next levels. It didn't take long, so I'm going to go tell the wife I won some money now.
Just the past decade or so, crazy. People spend more money on their side-by-side than they do their car. Everything that you can buy online, you're going to see out there. It's nothing to see a side-by-side with $100,000 in it. You know, it's unbelievable. Anytime you build something that looks cool, it's always good for business. We've been setting the trend for years with automotive scene, and with the bar set really high, everybody already thinks, oh, I've been there, done that, seen that. Well, we're going to prove that they haven't. We're going to show them something that's really, really cool and make people think, dang, I need that. And they know where to come when they see it.
All right, tell me it's time. It doesn't fit in the parking lot. It's too stock.
Man, riding around on a bone stock vehicle just isn't cool.
That ain't you, man.
No. I want to build something that just everybody else is like, damn, did you see that? And just be talking about it from now on. That's what I want to turn this into. We're about to have a whole bunch of parts come in for this suspension, and we're gonna, of course, paint it. This only color I could get is just white, but it don't matter. This is something we just gotta do it. One of the first things we're gonna do is drop the roof line down. 4 inches is about borderline how much we can get away with. So I want you to take out the seats, seat belts, and the mesh doors. Take all that off so we can start chopping this. We can cut this off here and here. We'll make something a little cooler for that. Get the doors on it. Leveling it all up is going to take a minute. Might take the bed off, tilt it up to get it out of the way. Then we can start cutting. We got everything lined up, all level. Everything's straight. We got a good foundation. We know when we take this off, it's not going anywhere. Let's pull these off. Okay. Take these over back to the table. Okay. Clean off all the weld. Then we can slip those pieces right back down in the tube.
Nice. It's loose.
Got it.
All right, go ahead and cut out the back now, huh?
Get it pretty good and then just split it.
Yeah, peel it off.
Yeah.
So me and Bill cut this off, and this right here slides into this tube. What I'm doing is cutting the weld off, and then I'm gonna split it. Then I can work the metal back and forth, and the weld will break. Nice. So we'll have this bung right here to be able to put right back on and re-weld it once we clean the weld off of it. Now for the front part, the windshield. Once we bring it down 4 inches, it's going to change the pitch slightly. You can't just drop it down because this will be over where it needs to be. So that's why I'm cutting it in 2 places. That's our 3 pieces.
Ready?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Put this top piece in, and then we'll make that fit.
Do one side at a time.
Nice. That's way better. Way better already. A lot better proportions. Cut a little bit of that out. Welding. I think we're ready, man. I'm really happy with how the roof looks. You get back and look at it, it looks like it's factory. It should have been that way. You know, it looked really tall, really out of proportion before, which I understand.
Riding the line on that side.
You got to make something for all sizes and shapes for whoever's behind the wheel, but when it comes to building something that's custom, you make it fit to you. Perfect. It's our first custom part for the side. Hell yeah. There's 2 best parts of any build. One being the end, when it's all put together. And the other part, the beginning, you know, when you're turning that thought that's in your head down into metal. And this time, that's that camper shell for the 2023 Polaris. Now that the roof line's all established, we can start on the camper. We got chipboard up front here, so I know how we're going to attach it to the front of the bed. I ordered a window online. I ordered it pretty much to the tailgate, so the opening lines up with the tailgate itself. just kind of want to get back, look, see where the angle of the window needs to be in relation to everything else.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
And then we'll see how high the back of it needs to be. I have the front of the camper laid out with a cutout in the front of it, so when the bed lifts up, you can see all the speakers pointing at you. What up, man?
What up?
You know we're building that camper for the back of the side-by-side, so we got to have a place to put all those subs in the back, right? Here's the measurements I took, and this is the radius I want for the top. And I want to build it all out of 1/8" aluminum. And I'll bring the window over here for it. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think everybody's been waiting for this, man.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time with it, man. We're all take it out and just go crazy with it.
Yeah, can't wait, man. So now I'm just drawing out the camper bed for the side-by-side, which is going to have a bunch of speakers, and there's going to be dancing. The side-by-side's been here for a while, you know, we go to the park, we take it out, but it's been stocked, and when you go out there, you'll see a bunch of 4-wheelers, all lifted, customized. I think it's going to be fun now that we're going to customize the side-by-side, and it's going to represent, you know, the shop itself. Usually when we do a build, it's for a customer, and it goes home with the customer, so you don't ever get to see it again. With the side-by-side, we'll be able to show it off, and we'll be able to use it ourselves at the mud park.
Cool.
Nice.
Jesse, as always, did a great job burning it out. It's exactly what I wanted. So the next step on this is I'm going to bend a 90 over and then a 90 down. So the front of this has a lip to sit on the front and fasten it to the bed itself. When it's up dancing around, it ain't going anywhere. Looking real good.
I like it already. And taking this thing out to the mud park, you know, I'm really looking forward to that. You see a lot of different things there, but you ain't gonna see this. Like it? Yeah.
Hey, Bill. What's up, Greg?
How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, man. Good morning. Yeah. You know, I've known Greg for a while. He's our steel guy. So anytime I need any kind of steel, that's who I call. Man, old Jeep's looking real good, man. I love the stance of it, man. Little 40s on it, too?
Yeah. I put the 40s on it. Chrome moly axles, re-geared, upper and lower control arms. Pretty much everything I can do that I can bolt onto it, I've done. You know, I like Jeeps and the Gladiator, the truck. I love it, man. I've always been a truck guy. I need a truck bed. I actually use my truck, and I'm hauling stuff and projects, and you know, I'm going to mud parks every weekend. I love the look of the Gladiator.
You take it off-road, too.
I do. I'm in the mud parks on weekends selling steel, and you know, these ATV guys are building the side-by-sides like you built your giant one. I'd love to see yours out there one day.
Yeah. So what are you doing in this area, man? I know we got plenty of steel from you.
Want to show you a little ding I got in the back there.
What'd you do?
Well, I got rear end bumper out of whack, and you know, the bed's a little jacked up, but I don't think it's not nothing you can't handle.
Well, let's check it out. Oh man, yeah, you got it a little bit.
Just heartbreaking. Didn't have too many scratches or dings on it, and then all of a sudden here it is.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, of course, as soon as you get your car looking right, you're feeling good, driving around, you know it's looking good, you crash right into it. Man, Greg, it is twisted up a little bit, huh? It looks like the whole bed's racked a little bit, too. I mean, the damage isn't that bad, but it looks like it's out of square.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bed's side wrinkled up. It'd be best to just go ahead and throw a new bed on it.
I like that.
You know, the good thing about getting rear-ended something like this is you don't have to go back with that factory plastic bumper. Since you're here, it's time to maybe get a little custom. Let's just upgrade a little bit. Let's go with a cool, sleek looking all metal bumper where it's going to give you a little bit more protection than that plastic.
I think that's a great idea. If I get rear-ended again, I'd rather have them bounce off and smash the truck in.
Exactly. I noticed you pulling in too that there's a 6-inch lift on here with the 40s. You know, it has the factory core link on it, but once you lift it that high, it scoots that wheel way far forward in the fender well.
I see it every time I look at it.
Yeah, for sure, man. We could build a new 4-link bars, scoot the wheel back, and center it back up in the fender well again. That'd be a huge improvement.
I like it. I like it.
I noticed that front bumper too.
Looks like a big old mustache up there, doesn't it?
Let's go check it out. That looks mean coming at you, man.
You know, I put a steel one on the front. I bought a big, wide, heavy one, put it on there because I figured if there was going to be any impacts done, it'd be by me in the front.
Right.
I didn't think about the back.
There's a couple things we could do to it to make it a little
yeah?
cooler.
Yeah.
We could give you a little bit more clearance of the wheels. You know, when you're turning, climbing up and down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can make it look a little cooler, give you a little bit more room, and make it custom at the same time.
I love your thinking, Bill. Them big old 40-inch tires need a little room.
Yeah, right? And then, you know, it looks like we could probably get this whole chunk of metal out of the way. Let's make your truck one of one, you know, just by modifying what's here. Make this bumper look even meaner.
I think it'd look pretty mean coming at you after that.
That would really set off the front of it. It looks real good, but we'll make it look even better.
I'm excited.
You know, you can't go anywhere on the road without seeing a Jeep. And there's a lot of people trying to set their Jeep apart from everyone else's with everything you can buy online. But when a Jeep like that comes into this property, we're going to get our hands on it and just give it some style that you can't buy out of a catalog. The Jeep Gladiator's had a lot of work done to it, but not really a lot of custom work done to it. So we're going to get our hands on it. We're going to get him hooked up, and we're going to put some custom touches on it, some extensive custom touches from front to back. And that way, when he's on the road, there won't be another one like it.
This dude, this is kind of rough.
I'm glad it's your job and not mine, though. Sir, what's up, bud?
Well, got a little problem right here.
Yeah, we see.
It's never good when a vehicle gets into an accident. But in this instance, it gives us the opportunity to wake the 22 Jeep Gladiator all the way up. So that's what he originally brought it in. Phil,
Right.
is his personal truck. So you got to get him hooked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it isn't just this little damage right here. If you really start to look at it, Pat, the whole bed side is wrinkled.
Yeah.
It wrinkles in the bed floor itself. So,
Gotcha. So we probably were talking about replacing the whole bed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Pull this off. Let's find a new bed, spray it, and bolt it right back on. No body work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a no-brainer.
Yeah. In case this ever happens again, we'll put a bumper on it that's a little more substantial than this plastic, right?
So he just came here to get that fixed? We're doing collision work now, or what?
Well, since it's here,
Yeah.
the thing looks great, man. It's got a good stance to it. The wheels and tires look good on it. You know, he's bought everything he could possibly buy on the internet and bolted it on.
Yeah, you got a bunch of add-ons on.
But, you know, we need to raise the front up a little bit more for him, get it a little more level, look a little better. It's a little lower in the front.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the lift that he has on there, you know, the arc of the factory 4-link has brought the wheelbase closer together. So the wheel's not centered in the fender well. So we're just going to make a new 4-link. Well, Pat, you get a couple guys from the body shop, go ahead and remove the bumper. Let's do it.
All right.
We're gonna put a more beefier bumper on it. First, we're gonna get the tailgate off, tail lights, everything dismantled. We're gonna start with the bumper. Basically, we're gonna get into it, see where it goes from there. I think we got everything detached, and I believe we're ready to get it off.
Rinky Dink Links.
When the Jeep was lifted up to where it's at now, the axle moved forward. It followed that plane of the factory 4-link, scooted the wheels all the way forward. So we're going to replace the factory 4-link with some longer ones that Ryan and Art are going to make.
Since the wheel is not centered in the wheel well of the bed, instead of remaking everything, all we're going to do is make 4 adjustable arms that can adjust out whatever we want it to be.
Definitely got to beef it up.
So now that we got the links off of the truck, got a little piece of scrap metal, kind of clean it up a little bit, get these tabs here. And this is going to be our jig for our links. That way we can put this here, bolt it up, just as if you're throwing it on the truck. And then we tack these here. Once we get those tagged in, we can bust this apart, and we'll just use the same exact tabs here on this side, and then we'll just add tabs here for this guy right here. That way we're not using 2 different pieces of metal, and it's all consolidated.
And voila, we now have a jig made for both sizes of the 4 links that we're about to make. Made to fit on each one. Just run a bolt through it and it's gonna slide in perfect.
Is that a left hand? Having the double adjustment here with the left and the right hand heims. Oh, and we can get the rear end aligned with the center of the wheel well. So we got the measurements for the DOM, and we're gonna get Arthur to cut that stuff, and we'll get it over here and get it tacked in.
Alright, I just got done cutting the first piece for the 4-link that we're making on this Jeep. It is 1.5 inches in ID with a 1/4 inch thick wall. Just look at this thing. It's a lot thicker, super stronger, take more of a beating than the part that's on there right now. Now that I got my new 4 links made, I'm gonna go clean them up and make them look nice and shiny.
So as you can see, got our heims in, got our DOM cut, it's all in place, it's tight, doesn't move, it's level with the 2x3 right here, so I'm gonna put some little small tacks on there. Alright, now I got all of them tacked, they're all fit together, everything looks good. We'll leave this one in the jig, we can weld it out, we'll weld all the rest of them, send them off, get them powder coated.
On the 2022 Jeep Gladiator just wasn't looking right. It was a little bit lower in the front and higher in the back. So we're gonna make it level and put some pucks in and raise that front up just a little bit.
No, it's not gonna be too bad. We'll just bolt the shock and do the sway bar.
All that'll drop far enough.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that one. It's probably gonna max out on the
drag links. Yeah. Wow. So that's tight.
So in order to get our spacers up in here, we need to take the shock out, this sway bar, and then it'll allow all this to drop a little bit further. So we're able to access this little pocket up in here.
Shake it up and see what happens,
Yeah.
huh? Alright, man.
Feels like it just stuck right there. Like it wants to come up. No.
You want to put spring compressors on?
Yeah, there's some in that drawer right there. We're gonna get them. We've got it all busted apart and raised all the way up, spring compressors, and pull this springle down a little bit further. That way we're able to get it out of the pocket up here. Why are you so scared of that thing?
Because it's like a time bomb, like a ticking one.
Nah, man, it ain't going nowhere. It's what's in there. It's got so much pressure on it, there's no way it could. You can hit that with a hammer right now. It will not.
I'm gonna let you do that.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Rubber isolator?
Our rubber isolator is going to stay on the spring, like so. Then we got our 1 inch spacer here. And then our 1/2 inch, which makes 1.5 inches.
Boom.
We got 1.5 1.5 inches, put them together. It's science.
Yeah.
All right. Right on, right on.
Right on.
You know, help me pull this bumper off real quick?
Originally, I thought we were just going to customize the front bumper on the Jeep. But the more I look at it, it's too ugly to say. Come on. There's no flowing lines on it whatsoever, so bingo. I just want to scrap the old bumper, and I want to build something that looks a little more flowing also. We're going to cut off the frame some and scoot it back far as we can. Weld a 1/4 inch plate all the way against the front of the frame, something that we can bolt the winch to, and to be able to bolt the bumper to as well. Now I can get some chipboard and kind of see what we got. Once that's established, we can bend some 1/8 inch plate. We can go from there. That'll work.
That's about it.
Now I just got to figure out how to make that look good. You know, I kind of got an idea how I want the bumper to look, but just kind of making a quick little template out of chipboard. Then when you get it just right, transfer it over to metal, and then you can build the puzzle. You know, we chopped the light down to give you a little more room here, but it just looks too empty, too open. So we're going to get a little bit farther behind schedule and make it cool at the same time. I want to build the bumper all the way up to the bottom side of the light, but still give him a lot of ground clearance. Cut that all the way off of the... And the only way to build something like this is to the vehicle. This way you can see what's up, what the next piece is. I mean, this is just the most efficient, easiest, best way to do something like this. Quick little spin. All right.
That's good when the top's pretty good, huh?
That's what we need, man. We'll get this part set, cut, tacked in, get it caught up on that side. Yeah, that's the Karate Kid.
Yeah, there you go.
Karate Kid bumper. When you have a gap that you're trying to fill in, you know, sometimes using a wire feed, you hit the trigger and the wire goes past beyond the metal that you're working with. A cool little trick is putting copper behind it. You can weld that gap all the way up and just break the copper right off, and it keeps everything right where you want it to be. We got the size and shape for the camper all established on the 2023 Polaris Ranger. We got her front, we got her back, got the slope, so I got the measurements for the roof. Next step, we're going to bend it. Pretty cool to get to see the roof about to go on here. I mean, it's definitely a critical stage to make everything nice and square and straight so we don't have a lot of problems later. We're going to tech screw everything just so we know everything lines up nice and right. We definitely don't want it to look like it's already been tipped over. We want to make sure it's all straight. You got to make sure everything is on point, everything's square, everything's lined up perfectly. I think the next thing we'll do is shape the corners here. Little compound curve right here. That little compound curve is probably going to be the hardest part of all of this. So what we're going to do is just... I'll mark the bends out on this piece of chipboard. So now I'm going to transfer those measurements over to my metal by rounding the template. Good?
I'm right on the line.
me go a little bit more.
Actually pretty good.
Oh, it's looking real good. You know, this fits the radius of the cage itself. And that's what I wanted, a little slope down in the back to give it a little more style to it. So we got a nice, perfect little seam here to weld because we need it super strong, man, because there's going to be a lot of bass inside here. It's going to be shaking everything. So every little piece we put on, you just get a little more excited about getting across that finish line and making something really cool. We're getting really close, man. You can really start to see how everything's coming together on the 23 Polaris Ranger. So the next thing we're going to do is make the two side pieces. You know, one that caps the top rail here and goes all the way down to the side. One bends on the side here, so it keeps everything nice and straight. So when you're welding it, it's just not going to bow and buckle. It has that nice, clean, crisp edge on it. It makes everything super strong. The last piece for Jesse, so we'll go get that done. That's it, man. Alright, thank you. There's going to be a lot of vibration in here, not only going down a trail or through mud holes, but from all the subs that are going to be in there. There's going to be a ton of stereo. That and the side-to-side movement of the dancing beds. This is going to be put through the test for sure. So we want to make sure it's super strong and we're not going to have any problems down the future of anything cracking.
Jesse's working on our side piece right now. So I need to go ahead and start filling in this radius right here. It's a compound radius because I'm rolling this way and I'm rolling this way. So I have an arch and a radius going in. So I'm going to take my nice piece of sheet metal right here, put it in the roller, get it rolled. Once I do that, then I can start rolling this edge. Kind of feel it out, see what your metal's doing, how your metal's working, and just kind of adjust on the fly. You're not going to do it just a certain way. Every little bend, radius, and corner is always different, so there's many different techniques, and I'll go with the Flemish hammer. Well, the reason I do it this way is because it makes a lot of noise and irritates everybody in the shop. So after running the Flemish hammer, I'll dolly it out a little bit, cut it down to size. What you got now? So it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, but in the end, you won't even know all the work that went on that one little corner.
You know, last little piece, well, last big piece, it looks simple, just to bend some sides and put in place, but there's a lot of room for error on that. So you got to check, double check, triple check to make sure it's 100%. So that's what I'm doing, just laying everything out, measuring, coming back, laying out, measuring, laying out. It should fit right in, and we're only doing this one time. Then the camper will be complete. I mean, we got a camper.
I see.
It's like perfectly even with the roof.
It's down too, so it looks like it's perfect.
It's way more work than I thought it was going to be.
I know, right?
The custom camper is just one of the first parts of this build. From here, we're going to go with the little old school mini truck flavor, like making a dancing bed. We put it upside down right there. We're going to bring the right team in to do that. We're going to add rear steer, bumper, paint, interior, stereo, speaker, lights. But as it sits right now, it's already really, really cool. I'm definitely getting excited. There won't be another one like it anywhere, much less the mud part.
Alright, so we're working on a Jeep Gladiator. The reason why we have this bed here is because the other one got wrecked. So instead of fixing the dents and all that, we thought, hey, might as well get a new bed. One big problem, this color is not the same as the vehicle. So what we have to do is change the color and color match it to the vehicle so it can all look perfect like if nothing ever happened. The reason I take all the fenders off of the bed is because you have this, and some people try to cut corners and maybe just leave the fender on and try to make sure that you get as much paint as the paint here, get paint there, and get it done right. I'm gonna sand it, get the green off, then we're gonna prep it, get it in the booth, and get the actual right color on it.
With the busy shop getting even busier, we got a lot of new faces. Patrick came all the way from Mississippi, and I'm glad we got him as a new painter.
Edgar's done prepping the bed, so now the next step is to seal it. That's actually to turn the green bed into a red bed. We go in, we mix our sealer, because without that it won't dry, it won't adhere. Second step is the base coat. We're gonna do a spray out to make sure the color is the same. Now after the spray out, we'll go and check it with the vehicle, make sure it's the proper color. Actually looks pretty proper. So what we're gonna do, get the bed sprayed, 3 or 4 coats of base, tack between coats, then we move on. It's crucial when you're mixing your clear coat because you want to mix it just right so it'll dry at the proper time. 3 or 4 coats of clear, same steps, tack between coats. We actually have a red bed that actually matches the Jeep. Well, I started painting model cars, bicycles back in the day. I actually started in my backyard. My father built a shop just so I could continue. Years later, I bought my own property, built my own shop. So basically started from the backyard, kept inspiring myself. That's my passion of painting. When you first see a vehicle, the color is the first thing you see. I take normal colors, make them a lot more intense. It's very exciting to me. I like taking a vehicle and giving it attitude. We get to take something new, tear it apart, make something better out of it. I actually get to bring them back to life. So it's like being a big kid again. This is actually something I would like to pass on to my kids. I have an 18-year-old son and a 4-year-old son, and I'm looking forward to those guys actually coming into this. Maybe they could be a whole lot better than I am, which is going to be rough, but hopefully they can be better than I am.
The Jeep Gladiator was pretty beat up after getting in an accident, but that just gave us the opportunity to make it really cool and custom. You know, the aftermarket bumper that was on here just isn't going to cut it. So we're going to go with a fabricated metal bumper that'll hold up a lot better.
It's going to really add to the look that, you know, he's going for. It's going to add to the beefiness of the rear to match the front. You know, we got everything going on up front, and just there was nothing back here, stock bumper. So this is really going to be a good look for him. A little less stock and more custom. Right up our alley.
One more right there.
We got it back down on the ground. It's on those wheels and tires. You can see the links have moved it back exactly where we wanted it, center of the bed here in the wheel well. Time to clean it up and we'll give Greg his truck back.
We're not typically a collision repair shop, but if your fender buyers need some help, we're definitely going to help them out. And then some. What's happening, Greg?
All right.
How you doing, man?
Hanging in there, but waiting.
Definitely the perfect opportunity to bring him over to the custom world.
Me getting rear-ended in an accident.
We're about to see. You ready to check it out?
I am, man.
All right, Ryan, come on with it.
Oh my God! Bill, you knocked it out of the park, buddy. Badass! Oh my God! Dent's gone. Hey, I thought you were just gonna scuff it up, throw a little paint on it, and stick it back on there.
No, man, come on.
Oh my gosh! That is phenomenal. Something
think,
right?
man?
How you doing, brother?
What'd you think?
Oh, hell of a job, man. I never in a million years thought it would come back to me like this.
Man, we had to get you hooked up. I mean, you always take care of us, whatever we need. So I want to return the favor. You got a little crashed up. I mean, the whole bed was actually racked. It would just taken way too long to repair it. We just got you another bed, color matched it, bolted it right on.
The bed came out beautiful, new lights on it, bumper on it, looks amazing.
It had a plastic bumper on it too, so you didn't have very much protection. You had to put something a little bit more substantial in case that ever happened again.
They're gonna bounce off that big boy.
Yeah, they are, man, for sure. Great looking truck, had a good stance, but once you lifted it, with that short factory 4-link, the wheels moved a little more forward. So what we did is made a brand new 4-link and scooted the wheels back center of the fender well. It looks cool under there, and it definitely serves its purpose.
Made it south for me.
Oh, big DOM arms and the big Heims and all that stuff. Plus centering it looks great and handled great.
No problem.
Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
Man, we got one other thing for you too, man.
More? Yeah.
Little something up front.
Let's see it.
Check it out.
Oh, wow, guys. It doesn't even look like the same truck anymore.
Well, good, because I definitely didn't like that front bumper.
Nah.
Looked like it had a mustache, didn't it?
You wanted a little bit more ground clearance. You wanted a little bit more tire clearance. And we talked about chopping that bumper that you had on there. And man, after thinking about it, looking at it, it just wasn't going to look cool. So what we did is just took the old bumper off and pushed that winch as far back as we could in the frame, made new brackets, cut the frame off, gave you 6 more inches right there in the front. We just took a piece of 1/8-inch material and just started chopping it up. That's 25 pieces of metal right there, all welded and bent together to form that bumper.
The whole front of the truck looks like one piece now.
Yeah.
It just looks amazing.
You ain't going to find that on the internet.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody in the shop. They did an amazing job. I can't thank you guys enough. I can't wait to get the truck out in the mud park and go have some fun.
So you liking it?
I love it. I love it, man. Can you build a truck like... Did you jump my truck?
You gotta have that adjustability.
We're gonna put rear steer on it. Be really doing donuts.
John's building it with a ton of subs.
Now we'll see if it fits.
The 52 wrecker is my ground up build. The next step on it is building a bed from nothing.
Oh yeah, best part of the whole build. We have all this open space to work with and unlimited options.
It'd take a lot of work, but we're gonna get it figured out.
Dang! Golly!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Decided to make a roof for the side-by-side because there wasn't anything there. So I'm definitely not going to buy a... This custom roof is just one more step on the 23 Polaris Ranger. We got the top chopped 4 inches to get that roof line way down and to make it way more streamlined. I wanted a camper on it, but that's not something you can order, so we made it ourselves. I'm going to have Jesse burn me out perimeter. I can weld in this seam all the way around. We'll actually sandwich some 3/8 plexiglass in between the 2 pieces of metal. With that same file that Jesse drew, I had John cut me out some 3/8 MDF that represents the thickness of the plexiglass. So I'm going to sandwich these two together, put it up in the roof of the side-by-side, clamp it all together, and I'll have my perfect fitment where the plexiglass is all going to be. So everything will be nice and straight, measured out, perfect distance. When I sandwich all this together, it's going to look really, really cool. Once we get the roof done, we can start mocking up that suspension. And then we're going to move to that dancing bed. It's an old mini truck thing where the bed moves back and forth all on hydraulics. What build wouldn't be complete with lights and a whole lot of stereo systems. So we get a nice little spot for our plexiglass to fit now. Yeah. Man, we got our bottom lip. It'll be 100% watertight. We won't have any drips when you go through and splash a big mud puddle. So it's real cool. It's going to look really, really clean, and it's going to be different. And not too many side-by-sides have 2 sunroofs.
thing stand out as Naughties. There's so many of these Rangers out at the mud park. I mean, so we got to put everything we got on it. We're going to go ahead and put rear steer on it. Grab your side on the other side. So the rear steer is going to allow the rear tires to turn along with the front tires on a toggle switch. So if you wanted to cut a sharp circle, you just hit that rear steer, turn your wheels together, be really doing donuts.
My dad told me we're finally tearing this thing apart, so I had to come down and help out, you know. Maybe if I help out on the build, they'll let me take it out.
Start taking off the exhaust, take off the control arms, take off the spindle, take out the shafts. I mean, we're gonna pull this thing completely apart.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got all our control arms right here. Look at the difference. Looks like we could snap this. This right here, this is solid. You could run this on a truck. The same thing with the rear. I mean, this is thin square tubing, and this thing can go through some hell. Get rid of these weak little links right here. One less thing to break on the trail. So we need to go ahead and find all our bushings, get our bushings pressed in. We got ball joints we gotta do. You got this, huh?
Yep.
Hey. Next, we're gonna go ahead and start putting them back on the Ranger. We still have to put an air strut in. We're taking the spring off the strut. And we're going to replace it with this airbag. That's going to give us that up and down air suspension movement. You can adjust this spring. All it's going to do is compress. This right here, we can put air in it, make it expand, let it air out. So it's going to give you a lower and a higher ride height. We're going to go ahead and just put the portals in without the CV axles, because let's just snug them up. This is our hydraulic ram right here. And it's going to push this rod out to the spindle, connect to the tie rod, and that's going to turn your wheels left and right together in sequence. So it's a tie rod. This is basically going to hold tension on the wheel. It's going to bolt just like you see right here. We're going to put a Heim right here, through bolts it, 2 misalignment spacers. Once you put that on there, that's going to complete our steering right there.
This is a huge improvement from what we had before. We got new arms, we got new air struts, and we got this rear steer system. This is just gonna be insane. I can't wait to take this thing behind my dad's back when he ain't looking. Take it out with my friends.
While we're finishing up the suspension, I'm gonna go with all black glossy paint on the Ranger.
Next, we want to take the heat gun and heat up all the stickers. If it's any stickers on it, we want to get all the stickers off, just like that. Painting metal, you usually clean it, sand it. Plastic, you scuff it to get the adhesion so you have something to adhere to. And from there, it's the same steps as painting metal, and we'll prep a piece of plastic. Alright, first what we have is the adhesion promoter. It actually helps the paint adhere to plastic. Step 2, sealer. It gives you a nice solid base to enhance the color. Alright, third step, the color. Same thing, just maybe 2 coats. Last time, 5-10 minutes. Then we'll move on to clear. You really want it to be thick. You really want it to be real deep. I mean, because that's what gives you that reflection. That gives you that pizzazz, as they say in black. If it takes an extra coat of clear, then that's what we do. If it's not shiny or glossy, then it's really, you know, you didn't achieve your goal. And our main goal for this black is to make it like as glossy as possible. All right, a couple hours of dry. We'll see you on the next trip.
Hey, what's up, Bill? Little project you want to do? I do. I really appreciate you coming by. Shorty, I got much respect for you for many years. So I got this crazy idea that I want to do hydraulics on. You know, in Houston, when it comes to lowriders and hydraulics, Shorty's a man. You know, he's one of the only ones that I trust when it comes to making this dancing bed. You know, I've always liked the old 90s mini truck dancing beds. I always wanted that.
Yeah, you know, that's coming back. You know, there's a lot of guys out there building little trucks all over again.
Yeah, man.
Well, what you got? On doing a side-by-side.
On the side-by-side, yeah, man.
Something crazy here.
I've never seen that before. I think that would just be unbelievable.
Could be done.
You know, me and the guys, we use this to go off to the off-road park. You know, I was going to keep it stock, you know, just so you don't have any problems with it, but I can't have that. Since I'm building this side-by-side, it's going to represent the company. I want something just unbelievable, something crazy that nobody's ever seen before. And that's what I need your help with, man. I know you are the king when it comes to something like that.
Yeah, I guess we can do a 4-stage on it. We can do a tilt back with the double Z-rack and then one tilt to the front. So that way it's really up there and you're going to be king of the park.
Wow, man, that sounds really cool, man. That's what I'm looking for.
I get my sons out of here. All right, sir. We get on it.
We're doing a dancing bed on side-by-side?
Yeah.
I never seen that before. It's crazy.
You know, Bill's a little local también, you know, so it's going to be a little challenge being the bed's so small. It could be done, you know, we're going to do it. First things first, we got to build the subframe for it, the first rack, and go from there.
All right, let's make this dancing bed.
Shorty and his sons are getting after that hydraulic bed for that 23 Polaris Ranger. But before they can get going, like on any job, they need to start by prepping that existing frame.
All right, now that we got the bed off, we got the original frame, and we can take measurements with this. And I think the first step is going to be we want to move this mount further to the rear. That way it has a better swinging. That way it has a higher pitch on it.
So let's get this stretched out as far as it needs to be. That way we can make the first subframe. Go ahead and grab this. Let's get going.
We're going to go ahead and cut this original hinge off to extend this frame out. Got that cut off. We can add on that 11.5 inches of 2.5 by 1.5 square tubing.
Okay, right now what I'm gonna cut is gonna be the frame extension. So this one's actually 1.5 inches by 2.5. It's gonna be a little bit taller, but we're gonna drop that part down, and it's a thicker wall, so it's gonna be able to handle the weight of the all the racks and the bed and the camper and everything else. Pretty good. All right, got the 2 extensions cut. I think they're a little bit taller than the factory frame, but that just gives it more strength. That ain't going nowhere.
To get that bed dancing around the way I want, they need to build 3 frames to stack together, so that'll give it the ability to front, back, and side to side.
We're gonna go ahead and square them out and go ahead and get them welded up. Well, I got these brackets squared out on the hinges. Tack weld them. There we go. We got 2 hinges made. Then it's the test time. Make sure it's squared out. We're gonna go ahead and tack weld them. There it goes.
So this is the first one. Everything looks good. But now after this, then we have the second stage, which is gonna flip to the right.
So right now we're determining placement of the hinges all the way to the edge.
Now put it over there.
So now that we found the placement of the hinges on the second stage, we're going to take it back to the welding table, ready to go.
So this is a lot stronger than what originally came on the vehicle.
Pretty much no matter where it's at, driving off-road, on-road, car shows, whatever, this thing can be dancing around and you can have no problems with it.
Get all the stages that are in.
Now we have a dancing bed.
Oh man, caught you working.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Got plenty to do?
I got too much to do right now.
Well, man, you got a little more to do.
That's all right. Bring it.
I really like how it's coming out, man. I mean, we got that frame underneath the cab. Man, super strong. We got all the cab mounts made, the cab's connected, all the suspension's made, super heavy suspension. It's super strong.
I know. I seen how it was all built, and the way that frame is just looks like a metal jungle gym. Just so beefy, and I know it's going to handle anything, especially that engine that's in there.
You know, that LT4 640 horsepower, it's going to leave 4 nice black marks behind it. That's what he wanted, a lot of power. That's what he's got.
When you get out in that parking lot and do the first test drive.
Yeah, just a test.
Yeah, we know what the test drive is.
Well, the next step on it is just building the bed itself, building it from nothing. You know, just getting back, clamping some flat bar together, getting all the proportions looking good. I mean, that's super critical on something like that. And then I want to incorporate, you know, a light bar built onto the bed. You know, something looks cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't want to go down to RPM and get a light bar for it. I want to build everything to make it kind of fit and flow all together. And for the last part, the coolest part, is going to be building the whole record boom.
Have you ever built anything like that before?
No, never. Hey, but that's
the fun part. Yeah.
All right, man. Get to it.
All right.
We got our new frame underneath the old 52. We got our rear end in, got the 4-link and everything established, so that locates our wheelbase. It's going to be low to the ground, so I want to put the fender super low. And I want to use an older style fender on the outside of this record bed, so it looks kind of nostalgic, right? So the next step is getting the shape of the bed. We're going to set some flat bar up here and kind of eyeball the shape, just the overall height, the width. I need a little slope on the back. Maybe like right here. Yeah. So we have some measurements to go by. I know it doesn't look like much right now. It just looks like a bunch of scrap metal in a pile, but you know, everything's established with these quick little pieces of flat bar, angle, tubing tacked into place that gives us a great shape to start with. Yeah.
We're gonna make a template around the side of this cab with some chipboard. That way, this 2x2 that we set in here has this perfect shape to it to make all of this actually flow into the cab, make it look like it's supposed to be like that. So to get that shape that we're looking for that we made on our template, what I did was just rolled this 2x2, gave it a nice and then made a little relief cut in here. The metal will naturally want to try and banana curl, you know, so added a little bit more pressure and got it where I wanted it. Then I can just come in with a piece of 10 gauge and fill that in, weld it, grind it smooth, and you'll never know. See how that transition is smooth? It's perfect to the side of the cab. So we have that same gap all the way down the whole way. Put it up to the paint sticks, throw some tacks on there, get some weld, grind the weld off, and it looked like it was all one piece, rolled all the way out. Of course, this is made long right now. Wherever it'll tie in will get cut down. It'll be all done.
You know, the 52 wrecker is for sure what I call a ground-up build. We built a custom frame, suspension, and making the entire bed from scratch. Once we're done, there will not be another one like it.
So now that Bill and I have the frame laid out on what we want the bed to look like, what structure we want it to take, I'm going to take these pieces of pipe that I have cut, I'll clamp it to this frame that we have made right here, connect the dots, and then once I have some sort of frame structure, I can get rid of all this stuff and we can stand back and look at what we got from that point forward. We might tear it apart, we might keep it, we don't know yet. Just like we did here, we're going to do it in pipe now, so this lines up perfect with the back of the cab the whole length, and then it keeps shooting out, so we're going to have to just roll it right here on this corner. Pretty doggone good, I tell you. Tell you what. Doing one side of anything is always super simple. It's mirroring it that is the pain in the butt. I'm gonna try and make myself some type of jig like that we got going on over there, some type of framing to where I can kind of set this in and get it tacked in just like I did on that side. See if this is the right height. We're not so different, you and I. Now you can kind of see the direction that we're going. We got the shape now and everything's, looking good. It's gonna look really cool. We'll keep on adding some pieces to the puzzle. All right, so we just finished up on our tubular frame here. Main reason why is of it. So now that we got our base done, now we can start getting into the fun part and bending and rolling some sheet metal and really start seeing this thing transform and take shape. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Adding hydraulic cylinders under the bed of the 23 Polaris Ranger. Once that's installed, it's going to lift and articulate, and that's what's going to be our dancing bed.
The tough part about this part of it is making sure that the cylinders, everything is in line. If you don't get everything aligned properly, you're going to end up twisting your bed or it not going up properly, and it's going to look kind of cockeyed, so you want to make sure everything is straight.
On these cylinders, normally in a lowrider, we'll probably push 5,000 to maybe 8,000 psi into the cylinder. In a hopper, you can push anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 psi's into these cylinders. So with this little tilt, it's gonna handle no problem.
We can run a 1.5 cross. That way you have your legs to be able to attach this. 25 3/4. We got the material cut for stage place. Challenge-wise is making sure the cylinders mount on each stage is in the right spot. We got hydraulic hoses that are going to be mounted on the top sides of the cylinders. They can pull, cause failure, and then if a hose comes down, the whole bed's coming. So everything has to clear. If not, it'll be a disaster. Okay, so now we got all 4 stages, cylinders in place, tack welded. We're gonna give it a final test of all 4 stages.
It looks like pretty good. It's functional. Finish welding it and then start on the bed.
Looks like we got ourselves a bed dancer. Let's finish it up. You ready to pop some wheelies with this thing, huh? You're gonna install the hydraulic pump and the dump valve assembly. It's an 8-valve system, so it uses 4 valves to open and 4 valves to release the pressure. Basically, whenever you hit your switch, it's gonna send a signal to this terminal on the solenoid. We have power coming in on one side, so it's gonna open up. It's gonna send power to this side of the relay, which is gonna come to the motor. Motor spins, turns the gear inside, pushes the oil out through this hose. It's gonna run to the valve, and then these valves are gonna control which movement on which stage. So the first things first is gonna mount the pump. So we already made our bracket. This is what the pump's gonna mount up to, and we welded it straight to the frame of the truck. All right, so we got the pump mounted in. We're gonna go ahead and mount the manifold in place. We'll mount it on the first stage. So this manifold is gonna send the fluid to each individual stage. So they're labeled cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's gonna correspond to which stage. So this will be stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. So whenever we run our hoses, we have to make sure our wire's made up to which dump is actually opening at the same time. Okay, so the manifold's in place. Next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and start running the hoses. What's up, Pooch? I don't need no kisses. So on the first stage, means it's 2 cylinders. We actually have a single hose that's gonna tee off. Means it's only a single port. That way it controls both cylinders off of one side of the manifold. Move on to stage 3. Now stage 4. So right now it may look like there's a lot of extra hose in here, but once the stages start opening up, you have to leave room for the movement of the stages, because the cylinders are actually gonna move further away from melt through the casing on the hose. Because these hoses here, if they sit there and rub, and they put in a hole in it, pouring oil everywhere, you have a big old mess. I'm gonna run the hose from the pressure off the pump so we can start running it up towards the valve assembly. We're gonna go ahead and do a little test, see how it flows. Hoses are all connected, they all fit properly, good to go, ready to mount the bed, put some fluid in the pump, start dancing this bed.
Shorty and the Sons are doing an excellent job on that dancing bed for that 23 Ranger. You know, only thing left to do is tack it all up and give it a test.
Okay, the bed is on. Everything else is in place. We're going to tack a bracket from the bed to the top rack. That way the bed stays moving with this rack on top.
The brackets, but the tabs that we tacked onto the stage here are going to be drilled and tapped, and we'll be able to bolt them in. That way they're able to be removable. So from here, we're going to run the final wires, the oil on the pump, and test it out and see what we have. Right amount of oil. Next, we're going to connect our wires that are running to our valves in the back, to our switch cord, and then we also have our switch power that's going to get connected, and the only other thing is our power from our battery to our solenoid, and we'll be ready to test. So now that these are wired in, this is going to be your first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage, and then up is, you know, raising, and down is dumping it. Moment of truth. Look at that. Yeah, we got a bed dancer. All right, mission complete. Man, I don't know if Bill knows what he got himself into.
Now it's time to take it back apart and get everything powder coated.
Oh, we gotta hide the switch box from the guys in the shop.
Even just having the frame built for that fit is going to make it look even cooler with a lot of fab work and a lot of sheet metal.
So now with the whole frame built, now we can start the sheet metal process. The best part of the whole build, get to design the whole look of it. So from here on out, it's just a bunch of bending and cutting and trimming and, you know, give this thing some character. Go ahead, jog it.
It's cool, you know, each angle you put it on, it totally changes the look of this record bed. We didn't bend this a little bit, Mom. So it goes, you're creating the attitude of the truck. You're creating the photos that's going to be taken a couple months from now, a couple years from now. You're creating those cool little lines that people are going to talk about and get the buzz about. So it's kind of cool. Each time we put a piece of metal in place, you're creating a cool truck, and it's going to be a memorable truck. We gotta do some trim. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna work our asses off all day. Either way, we might as well get to create and make some cool stuff and really be extra rewarded when you get done with stuff like this. Good job, Ryan. What I'm trying to say is, man, you do an okay job.
That's pretty okay. That's pretty okay.
Alright, so now that we got the shape of what we're going to go with, we're going to start with this first panel here. We'll get it buttoned up and tech screwed in, and then we'll get to the cool part, cutting it all out, putting the fenders on, and really seeing, you know, exactly what this is going to look like. This is great being able to create stuff like this and just kind of going off a general idea and seeing what you're capable of doing. We've all been doing this for a long time, but you know, there's always curveballs and there's always something new every single day, and there's always something new to learn. And you know, this is just exciting to me, you know, be able to use my brain a little bit. I'm just trying to get this seam lined up right here. So the transition from here to here is aligned all the way down, and there's not any wavy spots or anything. So keeping this straight is the only thing I gotta worry about. Everything else will just fall in place after that. Run the straight edge all the way down, and when it meets, put a tag all the way down until you get all the way to the bottom. And we know right here is the top of our rings all the way through. Might need to come back and tweak, so we'll just leave this few tacks on here for right now, just in case we gotta pop it off. We're not grinding everything out. But it's looking good, feel good about it. So move on down and we'll go on the next piece. Alright, I got this last piece fit up real nice. Gonna tack this in. Mucho Wayno there. And move around to the back. Oh yeah. One more. Get a fender on this thing, it'll look even cooler. You wanna see what a fender on? I already have some measurements of where the wheel is. I'll make some lines. Get the plasma over here, cut this out. There she goes. And then we can take our fender, mock it up, and get it where it needs to be. Now that the fender's on, you can actually start to take shape, and man, it looks super cool. It looks really nice, especially with this running board that we're gonna build in here. I wish it was coming home with me. This thing's gonna be pretty sweet.
You know, it's a big project, so we're going to be bending and shaping a whole lot of metal on this 52 record bed. There's nothing quick or easy about it. Brian's got to make everything by hand.
Alright, so now that we got all the sheet metal work done with the outside of the bed, we're going to move inside now. Come up with this little template, if you will. Something that we kind of made up. We want to see if it will look good or not. So we know it fits this right here, but as you can see, the bed tapers and it slopes down. So I can just measure to the bottom of it. We got 8 3/8 and 6 3/4. I'll go bend me a piece real quick. We'll see what it looks like. So I'll take a piece of sheet metal and I'll break it and put this roll in it, put that bend in it. So that will give us the shape of what the inside of the bed will look like, and then we can go from this point out 19 inches. You're starting with one piece and trying to make, you know, there's a lot of times you do this stuff and it might look right, but you might be off an 1/8 inch down at the bottom and you got to start over. So a lot of these pieces are just trial and error, even though, you know, we got a kind of certain direction that we want to go with. So, you know, bending all this stuff and, you know, standing back and looking at it, this is one of those times in the build that takes forever, but, you know, in the end, it's worth it. You know, put a little bit extra time and we're going to have 4,000 bends in the bed of this truck. So, you know, just doing this over and over and over and trying to stick with that one shape and that one look is, you know, really important at this point. So, you know, if it don't look right, start over. Now that we got this third piece in place right here, now you can see what one complete side of the bed will look like on the inner structure here. So we can continue on with the front. We're going to keep at it. Alright, so we got our driver's side fender well in, tacked up, leveled and everything. So we got this straight edge going across. We can start the fun part and start piecing the whole floor together, doing the sheet metal work and getting rid of seeing the frame, and you can actually see the whole bed here in a minute. So we'll get this tacked in. Alright, so we got both of our fenders in. They're both square, level, true to the bed and everything. So now we can start with our sheet metal floor and seeing what design we want to go with. We have all this open space to work with and, you know, unlimited options. We'll figure out what we want to do and keep on rolling.
This record build's been one of the biggest we've had over the last few years. But other than the cab, we've had to build everything by hand. Just like the bed, we've made really good progress, but we can't finish it until that boom's made. But that's something we've never done before, like pretty much everything else on this job. It'll take a lot of work, but we're going to get it figured out. And then we can finally look to getting this truck back on the road. You know, I had a mini truck way back in the 90s. I want to bring some of that style into the brand new Ranger. You know, what better throwback than a dancing bed, a custom camper, and of course, a big stereo system. And right now, John's out there filling it with a ton of subs.
Every woofer has specifications that you have to follow to get the optimal sound and get everything to work right. And I've got some great measurements inside here that'll make it easy to get the airspace I need. This is the problem. This. So for this box, we're going to be using expanded PVC. We're doing a full marine system inside of this side-by-side. That way, you don't have to worry about any of the elements. Off to the races. Let me know when you're done. You really want to go with something that's good and structurally sound. You know, this thing being 12, 14 feet in the air, plus with Bill on the controls, because he's never easy on things. So we got to be able to make sure that it can withstand all of that, then some, because I can guarantee you, if it can break, Bill will find a way to break it every time. What I'm going to do is just rough fit this thing together to see if I can get it in that opening. If not, then we can take it apart, cut it in half, do whatever we need to do, piece it back together, get it back in the camper shell. Why are you fighting with me, man? Why are you fighting with me? I'm trying to do you good. Perfect. Now we'll see if it fits. Oh, come on, baby. We're so close. I don't give up. I'm really happy it fits. So the next step is I got to build the back half of the box that's going to create enough airspace that the subwoofers need. We'll put it in the box. We'll get it cut in, and that'll give us a window into the subwoofer's world. So I've already taken and I've drawn out the window that I want to mimic the headlights on the Ranger. Get it into my carving program for my router and save. I'm pretty thankful that I finally embraced the technology. It's really helped out to make things a lot easier to deal with. Back in the day, this would just been all hand done on the router, duplicating parts and pieces. Machine does it. We can make the pieces bigger. We can make them smaller. Man, this thing, it just spits it out over and over, and I can go do something else, which usually means I'm going to go sand something. It's just a win-win all the way around. You know, as I start to design this, I've got to make the inside of the box look good. We got to dress that up. Just really make a whole presentation out of what's going to be here. So work a little bit of that into this whole scenario and get it kind of built out. We'll start body working it and mold it all together and make something cool.
Hydraulics have been around for quite a long while now. Early 40s or 50s actually. It all started with surplus aircraft equipment. There was hydraulic pumps off the aircraft. A lot of stuff was off the landing gear. Now, they're in their business, and the boys here, they grew up at the shop pretty much, and they're all pretty talented on what they do. Mark, he's one of the ones that runs the CNC now.
It's great, you get to wake up, do what you love, and it's kind of cliche, but that's my best friend, so.
Nick, he does a lot of the welding in the fabs.
It's easier, working with your brother than somebody else. We can depend on each other to get it done right.
I've been into low riding for ever, man, since I was 13, 14 years old. It's fun, If anybody ever gets a chance to ride in one, try it. Before you know it, man, Grandma and Grandpa will be riding in one of them cars too.
We got all the parts and pieces back from the powder coat for the 23 Polaris Ranger.
So Wally just brought all the powder coat back. Everything turned out great. So me and Art are going to put our arms in, bushings, ball joints. We get this thing together, get it out to the park.
It's no secret I'm partial to black and gold these days. It's definitely going to bring some attention at the mud park. Paint it all glossy to it. We put a lot of work into transforming this side-by-side into something that nobody's ever seen before. We're going to get it all together, and we're ready to hit that mud park. Man, I'm ready to go, man.
I'm ready to go. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It's been quite a transformation. I can't wait for you to see it. Last time you seen it was doing the rear steer, right?
Yeah, still all put together. That's the first thing we were doing was tackling that. If I know my dad, this thing is going to be crazy. This thing is going to be sick.
There's definitely not another one like this around anywhere.
I didn't expect anything less.
Check it out. Here it comes.
Dang! Golly! How did I know it was going to be gold?
You already knew.
Good job, Daddy-O.
You know, Keegan's seen a ton of cars in and out of the shop. Nothing really surprises him anymore. He's seen so many custom vehicles. So he was just blown away.
Man.
They don't look like the same one, huh?
Not at all, man.
What you think?
Man, it's awesome.
Very nice.
Good job. From what it looked like a few weeks ago to what it looks like now, it is a world of difference. It is insane.
Getting in the shop, you know, one of the first things we did is cut the roof down. It just looked too tall, out of proportion for what it was.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
And then Bill had the idea of just putting them sunroofs in there, and that was just bonus right there.
You wouldn't know it had 4 inches cut off.
What do you think about those lights?
It turned nighttime into daytime.
I mean, this thing has more lights than most trucks around. You know, of course, it's got the long travel suspension with air on it. Gotta have that adjustability, right?
I mean, you have to.
Exactly. That's what we do. Big 26 by 12s. Of course, you know, it looks like they've been dipped in solid gold.
It's a theme at this point.
Right.
It's a theme at this point. And the gold wheels, you can see them come from a mile away, and it makes this whole thing just come together.
And of course, we gotta have the black and gold, right? And, you know, not just black. We had to take all the body off, smooth out all the texture, and then spray it glossy black.
It looks so much better.
At least we're ready to go to a car show.
Yeah.
Car show? I thought I was going to a mud park. Well, don't be
You gotta look good doing that.
Yeah.
And I can see the subs from back here. I'm sure those are crazy loud, too.
Right? My buddy here.
Do a
Had to
little work
come on
to
with it.
Cramming 412s in that thing was not an easy task. So if you're going to do it, go all out. We got 2,000 watts on the subs, another 1,600 on the doors.
I can't wait to hear it.
You know, one thing we had to do is improve that interior. You know, smoothing out the dash, recovering the seats, and embroidering the logo in it. Been done before. Of course, we had to build that custom camper.
It looks like it came with it.
I mean, that's specifically made to that vehicle.
Dang.
And got a little throwback to the mini truck days, so check this out.
Let's do it.
This is what you come to work for.
Dang.
Just making cool projects.
Oh my gosh, man.
Making them come to life and seeing it all come together at the end. Days like this is what we're here for.
That is crazy. Man, talk about grabbing attention. My dad started hitting those switches and the bed started moving back and forth, up and down, left and right. I mean, this thing's going to be the center of attention.
We've done some ridiculous things around here, but this tops it.
You know, now it's time to load this side-by-side up on the record, go out to the off-road park and test it out. Man, it is real cool to have an idea in your head and having a bunch of tools laid out and using those tools, using your hands, have people come to help, all come together to make this project complete, real cool. And to be able to show Keegan something like this, that's a good dad day. I can't thank my guys enough. Shorty, man, that's a cool day to see everything come together. Man, I just can't thank it. You know, I wanted a dual wheel, but couldn't find it. The advantage of having a custom shop, we're going to make one. Our 52 wreckers come a long way. You know, I've never built a wrecker boom before. I kind of want something that goes with that 1952 era, but still kind of looks hot rodding.
Every time we add a piece to this truck, it just keeps getting cooler and cooler.
I want to lift it. I want to make it super tall. Probably can't go through the drive-thrus anymore.
12-inch lift, you're not going to be able to go through drive-thrus anyways.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
come a long, long way. But we're come to the point of actually building a record boom for the back. To be honest, I've never built anything like that before. So I came over to a friend of mine's shop, see my boy Ryan. What's up, man?
How you doing, Bill?
To see if I can kind of look around and get some inspiration to build a really cool, unique boom that goes with this record. We're building a record, a custom record at the shop. Old school, it's a 1952 Chevy.
Wow.
So we're turning it into a cool, custom hot rod record.
Badass. The guys in the record industry are a niche industry, and they would love to see you do something pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it's going to be real cool, man. I got some ideas in my head, but I need a custom record boom for it. And if I need a record part, you the man.
Hey, you don't want to buy one?
Man, it'd probably save a lot of time if I bought one from you to put on the truck, but I think taking a modern boom and trying to put it on the back of this record isn't the way to go.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I kind of want more of the custom look, something that goes with that 1952 era, but still kind of looks hot roddy.
Cool.
So, do you have any booms or anything I can kind of look at just to kind of see how for? So, I kind of want to see like the inner workings of it.
Well, we got plenty of booms around here to look at, get your ideas flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you make yourself at home, wander around, and I'll catch up to you here in a little bit.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, man.
The boom, sling, and everything, that's what makes a record. Getting that right is going to be key to this whole build. Getting the proportions right, getting the style looking and matching the same style as the rest of the truck. I've never built a record boom before. I've seen them driving down the road back and forth, hauling a car, but I've never actually put my hands on one. And there's all kind of stuff I want to look at. Sometimes when you're doing a project, you just got to go out and see what else is available. And looking at their ideas is going to inspire new ideas to build something really cool. And that's exactly what happened today. And my ideas are in there. Going back to the shop, we're going to put those to use. For which one?
For the blue truck that's out back.
Which blue one?
The one that doesn't have the engine.
That one, okay.
So we got a lot of work going, but I see that tow truck's coming along pretty good.
I'm really confident in the place we're at now. We're building pretty much everything from scratch. The only thing factory is the cab and front end. We built a totally custom frame, built a totally custom bed. The next step is building a boom for it. I've never built a record boom before. I think I got a good idea how to do it, though. I'm going to lay it out on the table, make a template, and then give that to Jesse to burn out. And then we're going to box it all in so it has a nice shape to it coming off the bed, going all the way back. Design it so it flows really well. Not just two pipes sticking out the back of the truck like the old school records are. Can't have that. Once all that is made and built, the next thing is the sling. That's going to be like a focal point of the whole rear of the truck, because you're going to see that front and center, so you got to spend a little time coming up with something that looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that'll make it look like the tow truck.
Yeah.
Then it'll be done.
No, not by a long shot. Man, there is a lot of work still got to be done. Finishing up all the metal work on the bed itself, put the fenders on, running boards, make sure they tie in, and then it's off to powder coat. We're going to start making the layout for the boom of the record truck. Man, I'm kind of liking that. So I'm going to play with a couple different ideas, get some different angles. We don't have anything there, really anything to go by. So my plan is just to come up with something real cool looking. I'm not really trying to stick with any vintage era, anything like that. At the end of the day, what we want is just something that looks like a cool hot rod that just happens to be a record. I'm going to take this chipboard over here, throw it on Jesse's table, let him get after it.
It's just like any other drawing to bring me, but this one's just like a whole lot longer and bigger this time. So I'm going to do the same thing as always. I'm I'm gonna just drop my big box around it and just get all my construction lines, get all my little curves that I have to get in here, put it in a computer and just cut it out.
Just gonna burn it out at 3/16 plate, so everything's nice and strong and stays fairly straight when we weld it and grind it. Then we're gonna cap it all the way around, so it's got cool styling to it.
Got this last piece for you. All ready to go.
Come this way. Back. Right there. Okay, so now I got these two pieces together. Now you can see what's coming up to be just a one solid piece. So now we're just gonna fill it in with 2.5 flat bar all the way down. From here, I just gotta put in the flat bar and kind of shape it as it goes. Start tacking it from there, just gotta fill it in. Okay, I got everything tacked in now on this side. I'm gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing. It will be a complete, just one piece solid.
And you see now how everything is really starting to take shape, man. I love how it's looking. The guys did a great job getting a head start for us, you know, having it all welded together, sanded. You know, all we had to do is cap the ends, which is awesome. We can continue rolling. You know, we got all the plates boxed in. It's really good. It's really going to go with the flow of the whole truck. So now what we're going to do is connect it. We're going to mount the wheel on the front where the cable actually spins through. And on the back, we're going to have the DOM welded in place where it's going to pivot. Well, buddy, it's up to you to make this look good. You know, once that's all done, we're going to take it over to the truck, weld it in place, and man, that's a wrap for the back of the truck. We will start with the square. Went across this morning to take a peek at the wrecker and shouldn't have walked in, because when I walked in, I was voluntold and walked out with a project. Bill gave me a template to work with. He wants me to make the sling out of aluminum, so get it all drawn out and we'll let the machine do all the work. Next step, we'll get a piece of MDF, put it in the router, run a test cut just to make sure everything's right and everything's the way we want it. See what they look like. Price of aluminum, we don't want to screw it up. Everything works good. I like the way it's going to cut, so let's get some aluminum in the machine, get it loaded up, and start cutting. Not bad. Bill has the overall vision of these vehicles, you know, and he adds these little bits of flair here and there and does his thing. But every now and then, he gives me the opportunity to put my little piece on it. You know, this all started flat, 2D, really not even knowing what he was after until I made the first prototype. Then from there, ideas were endless. We were able to actually really put some time and effort into this and make something that's really cool, something that will really stand out on the back of the truck. This bed's coming together on the old record here, but you know, like every record, it's going to need a light bar, and you're going to need something to hold. It looks really cool and flowing up the front of the record bed. It kind of hugs the cab itself, you know, the shape of the cab, and just kind of all flows together. It looks really cool at a distance away from the vehicle. Got my chipboard, got my big ass scissors. I want one column that comes up out of the bed up and kind of holds the light bar here. So I'm going to go with this width all the way down. Put the winch up here, see what's up.
Might make it go into a winch mount or something. But I can't cover too much or it won't cover that. It would protrude out.
That's gonna have boxed in just the...
Yeah, it'd be better looking, right? Oh, yeah. Let me go draw it back there. If it don't fall, it means it's good. Got something for you, bud. Every car we do, I want the tension being drawn from a ways away. Like you see it and you go, oh man, I really need to go check it out. That's always the point of when you're creating something like this. But you don't want it to look, the trucks blended into one. So we're creating a cool looking record bed that goes with the cab. So this is just another aspect of the bed that's going to be created to go with the whole overall look.
I'm gonna start tag welding this light bar to them, and then you can, from there you're gonna see the light bar start taking a shape.
Jesse and Max did a great job cleaning these up, welding them, doing everything that they did over there. So we're going to throw them in the truck right now, and we'll build everything to the truck instead of doing it on the table. That way it's right on the money, and it goes right in after we get it coated. All right, this one's level and tacked, and everything's good on this side. Jump onto the other side, make it match. So what we're trying to do here is still have access out of these windows, you know, be able to look behind you going down the road. And also it's just like a cool factor being able to snake these in between and all that and keep... Alright, so when we initially put it up there, we noticed that it was kind of slanted back a little bit and we didn't really like the look of that. So cut a 1/4 inch off the front of this. We're going to throw it back up there, check it one more time. It should be good this time. This is going to be a really cool factor to the truck. You know, with Bill's idea, I think it's going to look great, and it's not something that you can just go purchase and buy. And with all this going on, he's still got that one extra little touch, you know. It looks awesome. I like it. It's going to look sweet with all the lights cut in there and all lit up and going. And this is a really, really cool addition. I like that.
New one, huh?
Yep, 23 GMC Denali.
You've had it on order for a while. I heard you really got it in.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of tradition around here to get a new shop truck once a year or so. You know, we're a custom shop, so the truck's definitely not going to stay stock for long. We got to keep up with the latest and greatest and show people what they need.
Well, when I was walking up, I see you have that look in your eye.
Definitely going to need your help on this one. You know, it's a 23 model truck. But I don't want to leave it stock when we're out driving around in it and going to shop, right? Of course, I want to make it big in the front. I want to lift this one. I want to lift it about 12 inches.
Whew, yeah. The good thing about that is it's going to be an easy find for me. Back in my hometown, Bakersfield, there's a lift kit company that specializes in those type of lifts. I could reach out to them and bring some of California into Texas.
All right, well, earn your keep around here, right? We'll see how good you are on that. 12 inch in the front, and, you know, I can't use a kit on the back. We're going to have to build a 4-link with big bags because I still want to pull that big trailer we have, you know, and be able to load it down. I like the roof rack on the Baja truck. So I want to go ahead and put one on here also. I know it's going to suck, so I probably can't go through the drive-thrus anymore, but...
You know, with the 12-inch lift, you're not going to be able to go through the drive-thrus anyway, so...
But I want a lot of lighting on it too, man, so get a bunch of lights coming, under lights, roof rack lights. You know we got to see at night. You know, I want to replace the bumper with the new one, lighting on that. Get rid of the little pontoon running boards, man. Let's put retractable steps on it. Lighting all underneath. And, you know, of course, wheels.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. If we're going that big, you have to be doing something big with the wheels.
26s for sure. I want all black wheels. Some ideas for the back.
Of course you do.
It's a 1-ton truck, but a single wheel. but I want to make it into a dually. I've been looking for all black dually for quite some time, but there's just none out there. So the advantage of having a custom shop, we're gonna make one. And you know, it's not gonna work with the bed, so I'm gonna pull this bed off and put a CM bed on it. You know, a nice flat bed, something that looks really cool. And with the CM bed, man, you know, I don't like the taillights that come in it, that trailer style light. You know, I want to change that. So I'm thinking, pull these taillights out and put these taillights in the CM bed. So,
Okay.
so I think this would be pretty cool and give it that cool custom look too.
So I got a lot of work ahead of myself to make this represent the company, and it's going to be a challenge to get all this stuff.
Well, yeah, we want it quick too, man. I want all this done before the plates come in.
Oh, so you needed stuff like yesterday.
Let's get it, man.
Well, I got to get going then and get some stuff ordered.
Let's make it happen. Customize all sorts of things around here, and when we get a new shop truck, we got a truck. A lot of people are afraid just to take apart a new truck, you know, just getting a new car in, blowing it totally apart, and just getting after it. You know, it's good for everybody at Extensive too, you know, seeing what the manufacturers have surprised us with this year. Brand new, latest technology, latest model. What's different from last year to this year? It only makes for a stronger team around here. It's cool to be able to work on the latest and greatest, but it's also really cool to drive around in the latest and greatest.
I see you got the truck in here. I know it's time. You can't keep nothing stock for very long.
You know it wasn't going to be long for sure.
That ain't your style.
Well, you got to have something new, you know. It's 2023. Start off the show season real soon, man. We got to have something new, fresh.
Always.
That's what we got, 2023. GMC Denali.
Hell yeah.
Got a plan.
All right.
Man, I want to lift it.
Okay.
I want to make it super tall.
Okay.
About 12-inch lift on this.
That's pretty good.
One of the first things we're going to do is Carlos found a cool kit in his hometown. We're going to unbolt everything, okay, and just install the kit in the front to save us some time. You know, this is going to be cool. You know, I wanted a dual-wheel truck, but couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Make it a dually.
All right.
And I want to put a flatbed on it. So give it that totally different look.
I see where you're going with this. I know already that we're just not going to put a stock bed on here and bolt it down. All the bells and whistles, you know.
Well, it's one thing I want to do is the headache rack that they come with. I don't like the styling of it, so we're going to change that up for sure.
Okay.
And on the rear, what we're going to do is just cut everything out of the back and install big 4-link on the back and, you know, these pontoons on here. You have that. You got to have retractable steps.
Yeah. Nice.
Once we're all done with that, we're going to powder coat everything.
Man, I can already see this already. Way up there, out there, and bright.
Yeah.
Well, let me get art, man. I'll get this thing started tearing it down.
Yeah, man, let's do it. All right.
Hi, man. You know, this is our new shop truck.
It's nice. I'm excited.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
But first things first, let's go ahead and get the thing cleaned out from underneath it.
Go give him a kiss.
Okay, I think you should be able to pull it now. Ready? All the way in the back. Art and I just got the bed off. We're gonna go ahead and pull a spare tire now. Once we get that down, go ahead and take those steps off. We'll be able to rack the truck. Once the truck's racked, supported, we'll be able to start pulling that front end apart. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull the rear end. Then we'll have the clean slate we were talking about.
for the 52 record is getting that placement right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna set that right there so you kind of just keep a hand on it. So go grab that other one real quick.
Okay.
Just stand it up. Up a little bit. Right there. Good.
Both of them need to be spread out. Push the whole thing that way a little bit. Yeah, we'll drop a plumb bob here in a minute, but just for now.
It's perfect.
Tack it. Definitely need to go up a little bit.
Alright.
Looks like a damn record. This is where all the hard work really starts to pay off. You know, all the hard work in the bed, all the hard work in the frame finally come together, and being able to put the boom into place, you can really tell what it's going to be. It's going to be just a cool, sleek, hot rod record.
Alright, so we come up with another cool design to go with this boom. We want another wheel to where we can hide our winch line through the center of the boom, and you don't see it from the side, just kind of hang them out in thin air. So we want to put it in here like that. We'll have a through bolt going through, and that way whenever you look at it from the bottom or the top, all you see is the floating wheel on the inside, and the bolt will be internal. We'll box this all in, get this welded up, get cleaned up and grinded, and then we'll fit it up to the boom. Right there?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right.
Until you make something like the boom on our 52 record, you don't really know what it takes. There's a whole lot of unique parts and pieces that go into making something like this. Ryan's making one more. Custom braces to hold that boom exactly where it's supposed to be.
Right now we're gonna make some turnbuckles. Get a rolled pipe in here, get that same arch as our light bar rack here. And put two heims on the end, we'll have a turnbuckle system, so this can actually go up or down. The first thing here, we're gonna roll some pipe now that we got our arch, and we'll take it from there.
So, let me see that bad boy. We'll find some Dom.
Fancy's Vance Auto, Ryan.
Alright, right there. 50? Yeah, 50 is fine. Alright, we'll take that one back there to the sander.
Okay.
Let it rest like that. And then hold it kind of at an angle. Hey, make sure it's gonna keep on rolling the whole time, alright?
Okay.
We're gonna go roll this. Whenever you're running this, just go a little at a time. We'll roll it right to our template that we have made here. Then we can cut off the ends. 26 minus 8.
18.
So they need to be 18 inches long.
Looks pretty straight. All right, now we got our pieces cut. Throw some bungs in it and some heims. We got our bars stacked up. Let's go try them out and see how they fit.
Come on. There we go.
Alright, so now that Dustin and I got the bars made, you can kind of see the direction that we want to go with. You can see the little slight arch in it. We'll get this bolted in. These will go on the floor here for a through bolt. Our boom will be done after them.
We got our boom braces done, dog. So not only do the boom braces look great, they're also functional. So you can adjust it up and down. Every time we add a piece to this truck, it just keeps getting cooler and cooler.
You know, as busy as we are, we're down a shop truck. So we got to balance making this 23 Denali as cool as possible, but getting it back to work as soon as possible. So to save some time, Carlos really came through today and sourced a front lift kit.
As you can see, we've got the suspension parts on the truck taken out. This is part of the new lift kit that will give the truck up to a foot of lift. All right, first things first, this is gonna be the first piece we install.
2 bolts, 1 on each end. I line up my bolt holes, pass my bolt through. Now that I got my first piece put in, I'm gonna start with the second one. We'll be able to continue on the assembly of the new front end.
You need some help, man?
Yeah, I can use a little help here.
Where you at right now?
Right now, I already took out the front differential. Now I'm gonna mount these drop brackets in place.
Okay.
So, I'm just figuring out exactly how they're gonna get configured. Once we have the drop brackets in place, we'll be able to mount the differential back.
Let's do the other side real quick.
The whole purpose of these things is to make up for the new distance that's gonna be added on underneath the suspension of the truck.
All right, man, what do you think? First shot?
Sure. I'm gonna find it.
You got one in?
Yes, sir. This bolt's in.
Okay, so we got our differential, and now you can see the distance, how much we've stretched this differential from the frame. You can see about a foot right here. So that's our drop down. That's actually going to lift the truck up higher, bringing this down. So the next step is we'll go ahead and put our connectors in for our supports right there. Once we do that, then we'll be on control arms. Okay, so it's got to dip down for right here. Okay, let's go ahead and hang an arm. Alright, so we got that drop down, then we're going to go ahead and do control arms. We are ready to hang the spindle. So that's upper. It's easier to hang the bottom than pick it up and set the top in. What's up, dude? Yes. Hey, Marvin, baby. Okay, so we got our drop downs on. We got our upper control arm, our lower control arm, our spindle, our hub. You know, we were way up there before. Now we're down here. I mean, this right here, just kind of see how much more we've lifted the truck from just looking at this spindle right here. Okay, so this is looking good. Our next step is to get rid of the torsion keys, and we're gonna put our strut bars in. But once we do that, you'll start seeing everything tied together on the frame.
You know, when it comes to custom, nothing is ever easy.
There you go. I don't want it.
Even when we're not building the parts, like on the front suspension on the 23 Denali, it still takes a ton of tweaking to get it right.
Everything else done in the front, bar bracket down. Alright, let's see what's down for now. We have a mount right here. This is going to let us bring it down right parallel with the lower control arm. Get our torsion bar in. Everything will be nice and parallel, lined up perfectly. Look at that, right in. Basically, your torsion bar takes place of your coil spring because this is a 4-wheel drive. There's no place for the axle to go, so it's a CV joint. So you can't put a spring in between that CV joint, so you use torsion bars. I've got my torsion keys in here now. This is going to preload the lower control arm so it won't fold up into itself. Basically, a bolt runs through here, puts tension on this torsion key, and it twists the control arm up or down. Cool. Okay, so we got our new shock with our reservoir, spacer. We're gonna bolt it up to our upper shock mount, and then we'll bolt it up to our lower control arm. I'm real happy with this setup. Everything's supported, tied in together. You know, we got 10 to 12 inches of lift. Now we're gonna blow it apart, send it to powder coat.
We're off to a good start on the Denali, but we still have a lot more to come.
Bing, hammer, knock it through.
Custom rear suspension, the lift, bed fabrication.
Will it stand?
But since I couldn't get a stock dually, we're gonna make it one. This isn't the first shop truck we customized, and it won't be the last. Here you go. Just throw that up there. I get a clamp to clamp it up there.
All right.
Today's the kind of day it gets me excited. We finished all the custom parts for the 52 record boom. It's actually dangling in the middle of the hitch. Now we can mock it up. John milled out some cool little pieces for our record sling. I gave him a little template. He made it absolutely perfect to it. This is going to be the top part of the record sling. We're going to hook to the cable itself. Let it kind of dangle back here. You got it?
Yeah.
Pull it. All right. And we got a lower piece here that connects to the bed. It's dangle. Sit right here. Okay. Let the bottom piece kind of hang out where it's going to look the best at. Figure out our length of our sling. Just come down a little bit. Right there. We're at a really, really good spot on this build. It's all finally coming together. All that hard work, all that cutting, welding, grinding, it's finally starting to pay off. Got everything mocked up on the truck itself. Made sure everything looks cool, looks good in proportion to the bed itself. So went and had this rubber matting all water jetted out. So it's gonna fit in here perfectly. Think. Man, it looks good. Ready to haul a car. Cool, man. Well, let's get it on the truck. Let's go. Never built a record bed before. Never built a record boom before. Never built a record sling bed. Looks cool. Pretty much all the metal work's done back here. Only thing left to do, man, is pull it all apart. We can go ahead and pull the bed off.
Alright, you're clear.
Grind, weld. And we still got a little bit more fab work on the cab itself. Parts off the blast, parts off the paint. Powder coat the chassis. Keep it rolling. Yeah. Back from powder coat. The guys in the body shop are gonna get it all body work and ready for paint.
Alright, we just got this record bed back from powder coat. We about to get started on the body work. We got a lot of welds we gotta cover and it's gonna take a while, but we're here. The reason we had this bed powder coated first is because the powder coat actually, it lasts a lot longer than the solvents that we use like the primers and sealers and stuff. It basically gave us a real hard armor to start with, and Bill wants this to last like forever, so then we get the primer. And we'll get to the color in a minute.
So what got me into fabricating was actually welding school. Didn't even honestly like welding at first. The only reason I did it was to get out of school early in high school. I got out at 11 o'clock, 3 days a week. Man, that was great for me. I didn't like it all the way through school. And then I actually got a job. We were really small time shop. There was a lot of farmers and oil field work around. Learned a lot of good stuff. We built a lot of cool cars and trucks, you know, bagged a few vehicles, lifted some trucks, learned how to fabricate there, you know, really grew my skills and my interest in vehicles and building parts for them as well. So working here, man, it's awesome. I learned a lot from Bill, Jamie, and Ryan, and all the guys out here. They've been teaching me a ton. It's almost like high school football compared to the pros. You know, now that I'm here, just want to keep getting better, raising the bar, just keep learning, keep building, keep cranking out these awesome cars. 5 years, hopefully I can be at the level of these guys here.
You know, when I think back of all the handmade things we've done on this 52 record, frame, suspension, bed, and now the boom and sling. We're talking hours and hours of what we made as fabricators. Because it's a show truck, tow truck, we're gonna go with a really dynamic color that'll show off all that metalwork. So it landed on a really cool looking indigo blue.
I got the cab in the booth so we can get that first coat on. Alright, we got our first coat of seal on. We're gonna give it a few minutes, let it tack off, and then I'll come back with my second coat. Well, you can actually see if you missed any spots, so this is gonna be real, like, light spots. That's why we're using this darker sealer over the light gray primer, so we can actually see if there's anything left out. We can easily get it. That completes the second coat. What I got here is that beautiful indigo blue. See, it's a lot of pearl in that. It's a lot of metallic. It's gonna look beautiful in the sunlight. Pretty much look like we're covered for the first coat. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the second coat. Paint job, which is the clear coat. It gives you that gloss that you're looking for. And I'm actually gonna put 3 coats on this.
Cab's one of the only pieces that we kept off the old record, and bring it up to date, modifying the firewall, getting rid of all the old on it, and spraying that new blue. It looks really good where it's at. See an old cab over rolling up in the parking lot, and what do you know? Who pops out? Brian and Ryan paid me a little visit today.
What's up, fellas? Man, it's a good-looking truck.
Thank you very much.
What is this?
52 Ford, cab over engine.
52 Ford,
Ford, yep. Got a little diesel engine in it, automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, and brakes.
Yeah.
Full hydraulic rollback bed on it. Pretty cool little truck.
Needs to be a little lower, but it's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So Bill's been building this 52 Chevy tow truck show truck, and I brought my dad by. He's really eager to see it.
I'm interested in building the tow trucks. We've been building them for a long time. Like to see what Bill's coming up with.
You want to see it?
You bet.
All right, man. Come on, check it out.
Oh, look at this. That is really nice.
Beautiful.
Starting to visualize it and see all the parts together now. So far, what we see is super cool.
Pretty much all we used on this is the cab and front end, and built everything else.
That's absolutely amazing, man. I don't know how you keep coming up with this.
Man, that's a ton of work just to get it to here, for sure.
I really like that firewall and how clean that is.
Mm-hmm.
What you've done to the dash, keeping it in that same era, but modernizing it.
Yeah, man, this thing's really going to be something cool when it's going down the road.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be over the top, man.
Yeah.
Is that the original bed?
Every piece of that's all handmade. There's nothing original on that whatsoever. Started building a frame on top of the frame that we built, and just kind of cladded it with sheet metal, and just kind of step back, look at it, see how it kind of come about, you know what I mean? Just adding a piece here, getting back, look at it, adding another piece, and just start building like that.
The flow is really good. I like how you kept it in that same era, but bringing it more modern, hot roddy. I mean, this thing is really nice. It's beautiful.
I stopped by your shop a while back and got some inspiration for a boom, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you what I came up with.
Oh, cool. Wow. Isn't that something?
That is gorgeous. And it looks like something you'd find out of a Hot Wheels package, but for grown folk.
The boom looks like a boomerang, is what it looks like.
Yeah, man. We couldn't just go with, just anything modern. That's a lot of work, but I think that's the best way to do it, to make this whole project come together. I'm proud of it. Every guy at the shop is proud of it. I mean, we busted our butts on it to get it to this point. There's still a ton of work. Once we get the frame back from the powder coater, fuel lines, brake lines, air lines, all the electrical, all the new interior, we're still going uphill on this one for sure.
We have to take this around to the tow shows. This thing's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to get it all complete. I can't wait for that day the test drive comes. I know the customer's going to be super, super happy about this, and I can't wait to give it to him. I can't wait to get this done.
So, man, was that old John Cena's Bugatti over there?
Yeah, man.
Ain't many of them out there, man.
No, man.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, the old Bugatti, they're real hard to find, hard to see. It's going to be a real job to make this one come out.
It's been taking me a little while to kind of get a plan of what we're building. You know, I just don't want to throw a bunch of parts at it and here's your car. You know, I want to give him something really cool, really unique, and, you know, something he can be proud of. I finally have a plan for the Bugatti, and a bay is opening up, and just like the record, it's going to be a lot of work. Once that car is done and complete, that's just one more project like this that's just going to keep us on top and just get people talking about it.
Check it out.
Yeah, man, Brian can buy us lunch.
Man, we'd appreciate that.
We can do that.